magic sparks, and you might come pass across the 6'4" chick living on five spots with a shot who you thought that's Candace Park. She may be a lady, can't eat past the crease, cool as the AC, the ice princess, don't run the family, she grab it like a man in the spot, but she take crease. WNBA sparking, loving the best, cause they all so hard. Tonight we going hard.
Well, good evening, WNBA and LA Sparks fans, and welcome in to the LA Sparks 365 Network, your 24/7, 365 comprehensive home of the WNBA and your two-time WNBA champion Los Angeles Sparks. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Hello again, everybody, and welcome into the two-man show of record that is called The Guys with the Petition here, live and in full on the Sparks 365 Network. Here on December the 1st of 2014. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, alongside Chris Mancy via the Google Hangout from the Earnhardt Studios up in Anaheim, California. Cal McClure joining you folks here from Studio 171 in San Diego. Facial hair long gone after the entire month of November. Chris, good evening. You're in the holiday spirit. I love it already, man. How's it going?
Nothing much, just going busy and promoting and on my other network that I've been doing, the Chargers network, and just now since just getting run around with my new job, and just now since December 1st, just on the countdown, I think you saw on Facebook the deadline.
Yeah, we're getting there, man, very slowly but surely. But again, folks, welcome in here, folks, to the two-man show of record. Again, the Guys with the Petition here, live and in full on the LA Sparks 365 Network at this point in time. Folks, everybody, folks, the Petition show, and then I guess we have a couple of things to talk about here. As far as it goes with another new show happening, good grief, another new show with the Sparks Network, can you believe this nonsense? And, of course, the holiday season being here, and, of course, folks, with it being December 1st, the countdown's on for Christmas, but also, folks, now is the time to get your LA Sparks holiday packs already on sale for the 2015 WNBA season. Of course, folks, next year, the Sparks want you to ignite your passion for your beloved LA Sparks by purchasing season tickets or the brand new holiday package for the 2015 season. The brand new and improved Sparks 2015 holiday pack includes tickets to 12 Sparks home games at your schedule. Choose the games you want. Plus, includes a special edition Sparks smartphone case. To find out more information about this, please log on to lasparks.com or call 844-GO-SPARKS, 844-GO-SPARKS. Chris, like I said, man, there's really no surprise about us adding another show, another block to the show, or anything, man, because in case you folks never have lost track here, we have already added, I believe, 3 different set of programming here on the network, of course, which was the original 3. Then there was in-season and now off-season. Then there was our brief stint on BTR for our 4th. So, Chris, this will be the 5th time, man, 5 times already, Chris, since February 24th that we've added something new to the program, Chris. Are you a bit shocked that we've added 5 different blocks of programming to this network in such a short amount of time, man? Or basically, Chris, where would you say that we are right now, man? Because we know that that December 30th, all of next month and until February 5th, Chris, we have the entire recap of last year's offseason on the network on this show next season. But Chris, just talking about this, man, that this will be the 5th time. 5 times since February 24th, we've added new programming. We've done something to enhance the product, Chris. How far do you think have we come, I guess, since February 24th of last year to where we're at now on the first day of December, Chris? Now, this will be the 5th time that we've added something new to the network here, Chris. How far have we come, man? Let us know. What do you think?
Like, very big and everything. Just keep adding different shows on the network and just going very big. And also with Sparks players and also the LA Sparks on the Twitter.
Yeah, Chris, I mean, it's been a very productive year. Again, folks, we've been here since February 24th of last year. And again, folks, we'll talk about the recap of the offseason a bit later on in our first show. And again, folks, also, by the way, folks, we'll let you know, the #1 show on our network comes back at 10 o'clock, folks. You know it. You love it. You've missed it. Sparks Fam returns at 10 o'clock. tweets, Instagram photos, live Q&A emails, and also, folks, taking Facebook posts starting at 10 o'clock tonight on the Sparks 365 network. But, Chris, getting back to adding our program again, Chris, this has been in the framework, I want to say, since last month. Between Chris, this is going to be a deal. Unfortunately, Chris, involving me, not both of us. It's only going to be me involved in this part of the project here. But, Chris, this is a project here that has been in the works with myself and Albert Lee from SwishAppeal.com, Chris, for about, I want to say, since October. October, Chris. We've been in talks, Chris, where, Chris, this new part here is going to be a WNBA Writers Roundtable. So, Chris, as you folks may remember, back early last month, we were going through recaps of each team. Albert Lee was kind of to give us a few writers from each team to talk about their team seasons. So, Chris, with that, we struck a deal, and I'm going to be in charge here of hosting a 12-person roundtable of writers from across the WNBA on both here and also on the SwishAppeal.com website at SB Nation. So, Chris, unfortunately, man, you aren't involved in this one, Chris. But again, man, the 5th time we've expanded, Chris, but also this, I think, man, is a good way, though, for Chris, I also look at it this way. This is going to be like my warm-up almost for open court with the fan base, because I'm going to be in charge of handling 12 writers on a roundtable discussion about their team. And Chris, what do you make about this, man, that we're going to have a weekly podcast on SwishAppeal.com website, Chris? Maybe bring some of it over here, man. What do you think about this, man, that we're going to be having this 12-person roundtable where basically, Chris, no holds barred, and I'm in charge of controlling them. It's like it's going to be on open court sometime soon, probably next month. What do you think about this, man?
Just very great. Just everything is a preview of home court, and just can't wait.
So, yeah, folks, we are still polishing up the details on the show right now, but again, we will have a WNBA Writers Roundtable coming up very shortly. This, again, folks, was a deal that was struck by myself, Albert Lee, and Nate Parham from SB Nation's SwishAppeal.com. We'll have more details about that at a later time and date, but again, Chris, man, considering, Chris, that that basically, man, 29 days from now, Chris, marks the beginning of Sparks Watch from last year, where the Sparks, again, the ownership group had left the franchise in the dust last year and everything, and things included. Again, folks, I'll say it here again, but also from December 30th all the way till February 5th the next year, folks, we will be sitting here and recapping the whole offseason. And, Chris, I know we talked about this, I think we talked about this, last time we had the Petition show here, how we sat here and just rambled and talked about, how far we've come, Chris. But, again, man, I'll go back to you, Chris. How far have we come since last year's offseason, the petition campaign to keep the Sparks in Los Angeles, the team stays, and now, Chris, in regards to the network here, man, how far have we come with the network? And also, Chris, how far have the Sparks come since this time last year, and why? Or what are your thoughts here?
The Sparks came very far since Magic Johnson bought the team to stay in LA.
Chris, also, man, I know that that you and I and other people, just sit here and just talk about the offseason, and it's, Chris, I always find myself, or I find us two, always talking with Shorty and Crystal and off-air hangouts, Chris, when we have time to talk to those two great co-hosts of ours that we'll have on sometime soon, Chris. But I mean, I find it funny, Chris, that we always are talking with Shorty and Crystal about the offseason because, it weighs heavy on all of us because, we were in charge of the offseason petition campaign to keep the Sparks in Los Angeles. Then, Chris, you look at what's gone on since February of last year, how we started this network, and again, Chris, being the only place that anybody that's a WNBA fan will ever hear news about their team or whatever. We've been here since February, Chris, and we've had so many milestones along the way. Of course, the petition, then to being followed by players. Coach Dave Miller watching us back in June, being recognized by Hewisha Bush, the announcer, the PA announcer during our radio show. You know, we had Chastity Melvin on our radio show. I've interviewed Candace Parker and Candace Wiggins. I've talked to Wiggins, been followed by our Minty Harrington in the past couple of days, Chris. So a lot's been happening with this network, Chris. And I know, man, that we've tried other things with the Flakers, with the Chargers, the Angels, the Ducks. And, Chris, we can make all the networks we want, Chris. No network, mark my words, man, is not going to be as successful and as good as this one. Because, Chris, we've been embraced by an entire sports fan base, by every team, every fan, every Sparks fan, Sparks players, WNBA writers, media personnel, Chris. A lot of people have wrapped their arms and hugged and kissed us to high hell since February, Chris. And again, man, we can make all the networks we want, Chris. They won't be as successful as this one, Chris. I know you're trying your best, man, but don't get your hopes up, Chris, because Chris, with us two being here, man, and again, covering a sport that no one gives a damn about, Chris, we've been here since February doing this. There's been way more success, Chris, than the sorry-ass Flakers, than the Chargers. The Angels, Chris, lasted, 3 games with the Angels this past 2014 season. So, yeah, Chris, hate to say it to you, man, but it's just not going to happen the way it's happened so far with the Sparks Network, Chris. Again, man, at least, Chris, in perspective, what would you say, Chris, about our success here on this network, Chris? Because, again, man, media members, television, anchors, players, former players, Chris, people in ties with franchises, Chris, what would you say about how great we've been embraced here on the network and why?
Just very embraced a lot with writers, talking about us, writing articles, and Sparks players recognizing us, the PA announcer of the Sparks, and saying we're doing a great job and everything.
I mean, Chris, as much as you want as much as you want other networks to succeed, Chris, they're not going to succeed, Chris, because there's just something out there, Chris, that I think just isn't clicking right now with the other networks that we try, Chris. The Lakers fell through the cracks because there was internal problems with other people. The Chargers network, Chris, started up, yesterday. The Ducks network, Chris, ended after you missed one game day, Chris. So, Chris, I wouldn't get your hopes up about the other ones that you're trying to do, man. I mean, I applaud the effort, Chris, but I just don't think that we are going to get the same amount of success as we've had with this one, Chris, because, again, man, to have an entire league, whether it's 12 teams, 6 teams, 32 teams, Chris, to embrace us, some things included, Chris, I just don't know if there's going to be that same amount of success. Also, Chris, it just wasn't fun doing other networks because, Chris, there just wasn't that niche in the Chris. I didn't really feel up to doing those other ones, Chris, because there just wasn't it just wasn't fun basically to not be doing those other networks, Chris. I don't know if you feel the same way. I know you probably don't, but I feel that way. That it just didn't seem fun, talking about the same stuff over and over again. And here, Chris, where we can talk about different things included, man, and other things that we dealt with, internal problems, rumors, other nonsense about us going around. And then, other networks we've tried, Chris, fizzle after 3 games, after 1 game with the Ducks network, Chris. So I just think, man, that there's a safe haven here, and this should be the only focus of us too, is this one, and just basically, enough with the other ones because they're not going anywhere anytime soon. But again, folks, even though the Sparks season has come to a close, follow the Sparks across all platforms of social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Live Q on Facebook, Twitter, your email inbox, Pinterest, and also on YouTube. But like the Sparks on Facebook, facebook.com/LA Sparks. Follow the club on Twitter and Instagram at LA_Sparks. Follow the team on Pinterest at pinterest.com/Los Angeles Sparks. Sub to the team on YouTube at youtube.com/user/Los Angeles Sparks. Or register today for the Sparks email newsletter delivered directly to your email inbox. And, of course, folks, Sparks games are always fun if you bring the family out to a game next season. Sparks Family 4-packs are available now if you're looking to spend the night out with the family. Sparks Family 4-packs are on sale now for any of the Sparks 16 regular season home games. They include 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, and 1 large popcorn for only $99. For more information, please send in submit a form on the Sparks website, or also call 844-GO-SPARKS, 844-GO-SPRKS. Sparks Basketball. Ignite your passion for the Sparks. Chris, of course, man, as we are now inching our way into December, Chris, the holiday season is upon us, Chris. I know that we had a very pleasant Thanksgiving holiday. Chris, as our Minty Harrington put it today, Chris, my newest Twitter follower on my newest Twitter BFF on Twitter for following me a couple days ago on Twitter, Chris. The tree's up already at her house, the lights are up, Chris. Chris, when this time of the year rolls around, when November comes, December comes, Chris, do you still have that little kid inside of you that you still get excited for Thanksgiving and for Christmas to come around, Chris? Or basically, Chris, how do you react, I guess, when the holiday season does come around?
Just get so excited. Come around when it's almost December. When it gets close to December for Christmas, because I'm just excited for Christmas because it just has my name in it.
Yeah, well, with your name being in it, of course, Chris, with you rocking the Santa hat, love the holiday cheer here. But again, folks, we hope that you guys had a great Thanksgiving. And again, folks, coming up soon here is Christmas Day in 24 days. And of course, folks, be ready because again, folks, in 25 days, we will have more nonsense at the happiest place on earth when the Sparks hosts head up to Disneyland on December 26th from 8 o'clock till midnight. If you're going to be there, let us know. We will go and say hi to you folks and everything else included. But, Chris, as we get ready, man, to close out for this one, Chris, and of course, man, everyone's favorite show coming up next, Sparks Fam Returns here, Chris. Again, man, your thoughts about how far we've come on the network so far through what's basically, Chris, been 9 months here, or basically, Chris, 10 months, I should say, on the network, 10 months here on the network already. Your thoughts about the network, Chris, our success rate, and also, man, about the 5th installment of another new show here on the network, Chris. Your thoughts about tonight's show, and go for it.
Just can't wait for have another show on the network to have 5 and everything.
Yeah, Chris, I know, man, that there's a lot been going on, of course, lately, with everything else included. But again, folks, once more for the 5th time today, or for the 5th time in general, folks, for the 5th time in 10 months, we will be expanding the Sparks Network again. We will be adding in a brand new podcast show coming up very soon. It's a deal worked out here by myself, Albert Lee, and Nate Parham. It'll be the WNBA Writers Podcast on Swishbill.com coming up very shortly. Working out those details, folks, and of course, we'll have plenty more about the holidays coming up, and again, folks, more to come. But with that, folks, we'll take a break. When we do come back, it's coming out of retirement. Sparks Fam, the #1 show on the network, taking Facebook posts, tweets, emails, live Q&A, and much more. That and more. And will we see Chris muted again like he was back in May on Sparks Fam? We'll see, folks. That's coming up in 9 minutes here on the LA Sparks 365 Network. More to come here, folks, so please do not go away.